Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. What do you do? That is a question we often hear or ask when meeting new people. I will tell you what I do for a living, but first I'd like to share a couple of unique jobs I've had throughout my high school and college years. When I was 15, I started my first job at one of the few places that employ teenagers near my hometown of Berlin, New Hampshire. That place is called Storyland, and it's a children's amusement park. I worked there for 6 years, and with it being so far from my hometown, they have a light blue school bus that comes to pick up and drop off their employees for work. My first summer, I was in the drama department. Part of my job was to give a tour of a haunted silver mine, dress up like a scarecrow and dance with mechanical vegetables, cleaning some areas of the park with a broom and butler, as well as cleaning bathrooms and picking out cigarette butts from butt buckets. Pretty glamorous stuff. Believe it or not, in addition to doing that, I would dress up like Cinderella once a week. By my second summer, I had decided to change and go into the rides department. While in rides, I dressed up like Alice in Wonderland and operated the Mad Hatter's Teacup Ride. I was also the captain of the Storyland Queen, which is the official swan boat of Cinderella. By my third summer, I decided to try out the foods department. A lot of my friends worked in foods. While in foods, I was a cashier. I made cotton candy in front of a window so people could watch me, sold hot dogs out of a giant hot dog shaped cart, and became the first female to operate the fryers, making french fries, onion rings, and ribbon fries. By my last summer, I had progressed to become one of 4 foods area supervisors. Working there provided me with lots of great experiences and skills that I still use today. I will never forget there are 5 S's for success: safety, smile, smooth, service, and spotless. And the later added 6th S, small talk. My second job that I will talk about was on top of Mount Washington, which is the highest peak in New England. It stands at a feet of 6,288 feet. It is part of the presidential, it is in the presidential range of the White Mountains, and that's also located in New Hampshire. On a clear day, views extend beyond 130 miles to Maine, Quebec, Vermont, New York, and Massachusetts, and the Atlantic Ocean. It's not clear all the time. It's also home to the world's worst weather. It earned that title because of the combination of extreme cold, wet, high winds, icing conditions, and low visibility that are consistently found on top of the mountain. In April of 1934, observers measured wind speed at 231 miles per hour, and this still remains the highest wind speed ever observed by man. On the summit, you will also find the Mount Washington Weather Observatory. Their job is to monitor the weather as well as conduct experiments and research. In the summertime, which is when I worked there, the temperatures range from about 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So you may be wondering, how did I get to the top of the mountain each day? There are 3 ways up. You can hike up one of the trails. You can drive up the auto road, either with your own vehicle or ride as a passenger in a van, or take the train via the Cog Railway. Now, the Cog Railway has always used coal-fired engines, and they just added a brand new diesel engine. My boss would drive us up in a van, and she would typically get us up there in maybe 20 minutes, which is really fast, mainly because she was the only vehicle on the road. But I was really concerned because there were many days where I would look out and it would just be fog. I didn't really understand how she knew where to go. Also in my life, I have hiked up, I've driven my own vehicle, and taken the train. While working there, I worked as in the gift shop and as in the cafeteria as a cashier, server, and cleaner. Prior to starting, I was told I needed to pack a bag filled with winter weather gear, so hat, mittens, pants, and a jacket, and pack it in a bag just in case. My favorite memory while working up on the mountain was when I actually needed my stayed overnight because we had a work party, and when I woke up the next morning, there was rime ice covering the summit. Rime ice is very different than the typical ice we see here in the wintertime. So it is ice that forms when water droplets in fog freeze to the outer surface of objects. So I've told you about 2 unique summer jobs I've had, and when I'm asked the question now, what do you do? My answer is I'm an audiologist and have been for the past 11 years. Audiologists identify, diagnose, monitor, and treat hearing and balance problems. I have spent a lot of my life asking the question, can you hear me now? I have worked in a variety of settings as an audiologist. I've worked in a couple private practices, I've worked for the school system, and in my current job I work for early intervention, which provides services to children birth to 3 years of age. I am actively pursuing positions as either an account manager or trainer with a hearing aid manufacturer, and those types of positions require giving presentations and trainings on hearing aids and programming software. I joined Toastmasters in order to better hone in my public speaking skills to become a